If you think Reacher flipping a car is wild, wait till you hear what he does in the books. Reacher's car flip scene in Season 3's episode May 5th seem wild, but he has pulled off even more impressive feats of strength in the original Lee Child books. Since Prime Video's Reacher tries to closely adapt Lee Child's Jack Reacher books, it does not shy away from portraying how ridiculously strong the titular character can be. Alan Ritchson's Jack Reacher has displayed many shocking feats of strength since Season 1. For instance, he easily snapped a zip tie in Season 1's early episodes and later took down a group of prisoners all by himself. In Season 2, Reacher even triggered a car's airbag by merely kicking it. Similar to its predecessors, Season 3 does not hold itself back from capturing how insanely strong Reacher is. It shows him flipping a full-fledged car with minimal help from a DEA agent. However, as over-the-top as these feats of his strength might seem, what he does in the books makes him seem even more superhuman. Reacher's Season 3 car flip is not even close to his most impressive feat in the books. In Lee Child's Tripwire, Jack Reacher spends the summer as a swimming pool digger. The act of digging pools on a daily basis helps him reach the peak of his physical condition, and he grows incredibly muscle-bound. This ultimately pays off in the book when he gets shot in the chest, but his dense pectoral muscles prevent the bullet from going too deep. The book mentions that he gets shot by a relatively smaller gun that has older and less powdered bullets. However, Reacher Season 3's car flip scene still seems nothing compared to Reacher's feat of surviving the bullet wound in Tripwire. Reacher seems to have many nearly superhuman feats of strength in the original Lee Child books. For instance, he uses a knife and fork as a makeshift wrench in one of the novels, and even snaps a door off its hinges with his bare hands in another. By showing how Jack Reacher is capable of flipping a car, Reacher Season 3 seems to stretch the suspension of disbelief a little too far, just like its source material. However, the show, like the original book, balances this by showing how vulnerable Reacher can sometimes be. Polly makes Reacher look far less superhuman in Season 3. Jack Reacher almost seems superhuman when he manages to flip a car in Season 3's Episode 5. However, the show humbles him moments later when he encounters Polly. When Reacher confronts Polly in Season 3 for killing the maid, Polly asks him to do something about it. Reacher feels confident in his ability to take people down with one punch. Therefore, he delivers a hard punch to Polly's ribs, believing it would be enough to teach the giant a lesson. Reacher Season 3 perfectly captures that as strong the Alan Ritchson character may be, he is not invincible. However, to Reacher's surprise, Polly barely flinches and snaps back at him with a hard smack on his face. One slap from Polly sends Reacher flying and makes his knees buckle. Since Reacher is used to winning fights, Polly's strength catches him off guard. With this, Reacher Season 3's Episode 5 perfectly captures that as strong the Alan Ritchson character may be, he is not invincible. Jack Reacher became meme-worthy the moment TV Reacher flipped a sedan like a toddler turning over a Tonka truck, yet longtime readers merely nodded. The novels have been treating physics as a polite suggestion since 1997. Here are 6-page ripping feats that make that televised Buick toss look almost civilized, and what they reveal about the quiet giant who keeps walking on. 1. Pool cue carnage killing floor. 40 pages in, 4 machete-wielding locals corner Reacher in a Georgia bar. He pockets a cue ball, cracks 2 skulls, snaps the stick in half, and fences the remaining pair into submission with jagged wood. The jukebox needle skips. The fight is over in 12 seconds. Flipping one car is dramatic, but turning a bar brawl into a Renaissance duel with barroom debris is pure Reacher. 2. Snowbound siege die trying. Kidnapped, hamstrung, and dragged to a Montana militia compound, Reacher limps into the woods, circles back, and hijacks an M60 machine gun. Grenades bloom across watchtowers. A Humvee rolls downhill like an iron avalanche. 40 heavily armed zealots surrender to a lone man in a torn coat. On TV, he flips one chassis. In print, he flips an entire belief system. 3. 10-story freefall, bad luck and trouble. Helicopters usually land. Reacher steps onto a skid 10 stories up over a Bel Air mansion, drops through a skylight, and is upright before the security glass finishes falling. By the time his partner rappels down the rope, The guards are zip-tied and the millionaire villain is explaining bank statements at gunpoint. The screen may never show it. Insurance companies would faint. 4. Why prison break? Nothing to lose. Locked in a rural Colorado drunk tank, Reacher studies the bolts holding the stainless steel toilet to the floor. 20 minutes later, the fixture is a battering ram, the cell door is firewood, and the deputy is politely stored in the evidence closet, unharmed but rethinking every life choice. A car flip bends metal. A toilet ram jailbreak repurposes it. 5. Bunker Inferno 61 hours. Deep beneath a South Dakota airfield, gunmen trap Reacher in a WWII-fueled bunker packed with propane. He rewires a ventilation fan into a spark plug, sprints up a ladder, and outruns the exploding corridor. Locals report UFOs. Reacher settles for mild frostbite and a cup of coffee. Stunt coordinators charged by the explosion. Novelists pay only in exclamation marks. 6. Surgical headbutt worth dying for. Facing a 250-pound ex-lineman, Reacher calculates angle, distance, and timing like a human protractor. One headbutt, one shattered septum, fight concluded. No haymaker wind-up, no slow-motion crunch, just a clinical crack that turns bone to origami. It's the purest expression of the series' mantra: maximum result, minimum motion. Why the page beats the screen. Television answers to budgets, stunt teams, and the occasional law of thermodynamics. Lead child answers only to your willingness to turn the next page. Prose lets Reacher weaponize anything: snow, plumbing, a pocket calculator, because the most expensive special effect is already in your skull. Child's narration zooms in on tiny mechanical facts, bolt sizes, firing pin travel, until the impossible feels diagrammatic. By the time Reacher acts, you're convinced a man could pry a toilet loose with handcuffs or fire a machine gun one-handed. Just as important, the novels grant him space to fail. He gets injured, frostbitten, concussed. He misreads motives and pays in bruises. Those dings add stakes that glossy cinematography sometimes sands away, making each impossible victory feel earned rather than scripted. Every limp reminds us the monster is still mortal, and still coming toward his next unlucky opponent at the next town. The bigger-than-fists toolkit. The books also showcase talents the series hints at but rarely foregrounds: forensic math, fluent French, a detective's ear for the sigh a liar makes. In the midnight line, he buys 3 burner phones, triangulates a fentanyl pipeline, and collapses it with anonymous tips before he throws a single punch. Violence is the punctuation, not the sentence. Your next move? If that BMW somersault made you cheer, crack open a novel and watch Reacher detach a man's biceps with a gentle tap, or rebuild a country courthouse's moral code over black coffee. The screen delivers spectacle, the page delivers scale, variety, and Reacher's interior code, equal parts math problem, moral algebra, and weather report. One warning: once you read how big the canvas really is, you may never look at a stray pool cue, helicopter skid, or stainless steel toilet the same way again. Reacher doesn't just flip cars. He flips the rules of engagement, flips entire power structures, and occasionally flips your expectations of what a lone drifter can accomplish before breakfast. Buckle up, no seatbelt has ever stopped him, and a mere television budget certainly won't. If that BMW somersault made you cheer, crack open a novel and watch Reacher detach a man's biceps with a gentle tap, or rebuild a country courthouse's moral code over black coffee. The screen delivers spectacle, the page delivers scale, variety,